Hello fellow duelists, this is Shadow of the Moon, and welcome to the first video in my series of Halloween-themed deck profiles for you guys for the October 2022. So I had a lot of fun doing this last year, as I had stated in my previous video, and I wanted to do it again because honestly this was just super fun for me, and you guys seem to enjoy it. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and start off with the first deck profile. So this is going to be on Blackwings, obviously, so this is going to be Blackwing deck before the Darkwing Blast booster box has come out, so do expect this deck to be changed quite a bit once that set comes out, and I will be adding stuff to it and everything. Still working on it, but yeah, let's go ahead and dive straight on into the creepy deck profile. All right, so the things have changed. Obviously, Splight is a thing, Terra Elements is a thing, and you have to be prepared. So I did add a few choices in here, but first off, we're going to go with the basics. You got your 3 copies of Simon the Poison Wind. Obviously, this card is the starter of the deck. It's amazing. What you're going to want to do with this card is you reveal this card from your hand, banish a Blackwing monster, and then you automatically play Black Whirlwind directly from your deck. And then from there, you can activate its effect to normal summon it. That will allow you to search for your Blackwings that have less attack than the monster that you summoned using the Black Whirlwind. So obviously, you guys know by now that's exactly how it works. Then from there, you're going to be going into Oster. Oster's going to bring back the banished monster, and then you're going to set up for your field. This is a great extender. Just keep in mind this does lock you into dark monsters, but everything in this deck pretty much is a dark monster anyways. And then 3 copies of Chris the Crack at Dawn. Chris is great because Chris is in 1900, and if you control a Blackwing monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. It is only once per turn, however. What's not once per turn is 3 Bore the Spear. So Bore the Spear, if you control a Blackwing monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and it even has piercing damage, but also because the fact that it is not once per turn, so if it does get bounced back, you can special summon it again, as long as you control a face-up Blackwing monster. Then we're going to be playing 3 copies of Zephyros the Elite. Zephyros the Elite is great because this is what's going to help you with your starting. You want to see him, and you want to see Simoon in your opening hand all the time, because this is what's going to be allowed to be bounced back a face-up card to be able to special summon this from the graveyard, which counts as another body for your Blackwings. Obviously, that's going to be very important in this deck, and you can only activate the effect once per duel. I know most people only get 1 in the deck. I like to have 3 because I want to see him, and it works much more consistently, in my opinion, if you have 3 of him and 3 of the Simoon. So then 1 copy of Oster. You do not want to see this in your opening hand. This is a card that you want to see pulled from the deck using Black Whirlwind, because this card is used as a tuner, and also if you normal summon it, you can add back the banished monster that was banished using Simoon's effect. Then when it's in the graveyard, you can banish this to add wedge counters to all face-up monsters on your opponent's side of the field, which can help you go into the full Armor Master. And then we've got 1 copy of Gale the Whirlwind. Gale is great because Gale is also like Bora. It is not once per turn. It cuts a monster's attack and defense in half, and it can be special summoned as long as you control a face-up Blackwing monster on the field. Then we've got 2 copies of Hamartin the Dust. Hamartin can modify its level by selecting a face-up Blackwing monster, and if you control a Blackwing monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, but it is once per turn. So if you have a level 3, you can make this a level 5, and then go into the level 8 Borreload Savage, or if you have Hiss and Oster, you can go into a level 6 Oster, and then that will go into your full Armor Master. This is a great extender for the deck, in my opinion. And then lastly, we've got 1 copy of Orochi the Skull. Orochi is in there because it is the last thing that can be searched for in case that you also add this to your hand and you've got 2 Black Whirlwinds or something, or if you already have this in your hand and you need to search for something, it also counts as a body. And if it has a nifty effect that if it's used as synchro material, when it goes to the graveyard, you can turn you or your opponent's monsters, 1 of them, and change their battle position. So it's a great extender for the deck because it is a level 1. So that's it for the Blackwing monsters. Then we're going to be going on to the non. So we have Silent Boots. We've got Stringolanius, and we have Raider's Wing. These are great for this deck because this is helpful for extenders. This is going to be going into your Kali Yuga combo. This also will too. This is going to be going into using Rusty Bardiche as the target, so you're going to put it into the graveyard. This will add a Phantomite Spawn Trap from your deck to your hand, and then you banish it to add 1 from your deck to your hand. Alright, so then we've got 1 copy of Radion. You can play any other monster. There's 1 other monster, I can't remember exactly. I prefer to use this because it is a kaiju. This does help, and I have really won games with this, because if your opponent has something that you cannot out in any other way, shape, or form except for kaiju in it, this is a great card to have. This also can be searched for using Small World, so yeah, it's very beneficial, and I still prefer to play that. And then we've got 3 copies of the Cyframe Gamma, one of the best hand traps, because Cyframe Gamma is going to make it to where if you are going second, you can negate your opponent's monster effect and destroy it. It won't negate it, and then it stays on the field. It will destroy it, and then from there, will allow you to special summon this from your deck. Unfortunately, these do get banished, but if you are playing against somebody and you do happen to go second and you don't have any monsters on the field, this can potentially be a Borreload Savage Dragon because you got these 2 on the field, and then from there, you can proceed to just demolish them. All right, so that's going to be it for the monsters. You're going to see exactly what I changed out in a second. So first, we're going to go with the basic spells. You've got 2 Black Whirlwinds. Obviously, this is the start of the deck. I felt cutting it down to 2 keeps the deck more consistent and flows a lot better because you want to see this, but at the same time, there's so many ways to pull it out. You've got a Small World, which will help Simoon. Simoon will pull it out, and you have 1,001 ways to be able to get Simoon out. So yeah, there's really only need to get 2 in the deck because you don't want to overload it with 3 because it can be a dead draw if you draw into it and stuff and you don't need it. And then 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. I do plan on getting the Pot of Prosperity now that it has been reprinted. I'm so excited about that. That's great. That card needed to be reprinted like really, really badly, but this is a good stand-in if you cannot afford that because this will allow you to draw 2 cards and then banish a dark monster. So it adds to the effect of being able to use Oster's effect to bring back the banished monster and also allows you to draw 2 cards. And then obviously 3 copies of Small World. Small World is going to be in here because this is going to help you with your combos. Small World, you reveal... Okay, so how this card works, and a lot of people do get confused by it, is Small World, you reveal a monster from your hand, and then you banish a monster face down that has the same attribute, attack or defense or type or whatever, one of those, and then you search your deck for a monster that has the same attack and defense and all that as the monster that was in your hand that was banished. So if you banish a level 3, you can grab a level 3 monster from your deck to your hand as long as it is either a level 3, attack, defense, attribute, type, or whatever, as long as it's one of those. Now, I know that can get confusing and stuff, but mainly what you're using this card for is you're going to be using this to pull Simoon, and also if in the event you're able to, you can also grab a Radion. You can even grab Cyframe Gamma from your deck because you're using, as long as it matches one of those criteria. So I know that it's very, very confusing at times, but it does work quite well. And this is an amazing card. I actually used to not even bother playing it, but recently I've definitely started playing it because of how good it is. And then 3 copies of Super Polo because, yeah, Sprite is a thing. Now, you're probably wondering why I don't have Gin Buster in here. The reason I don't have Gin Buster in this deck right now, in this format, is because Sprite and Terra Elements is a thing, and Nibiru just doesn't do anything. It's kind of sad. It's toxic, in my opinion, because of that, because, honestly... if you can basically, Nibiru doesn't do anything. It is still a thing, and people do play it, but if you're able to like run out of it and stuff, and it doesn't even matter, that's a bad thing. What this is going to allow you to do is this is going to allow you to take your opponent's monster, especially in my deck, if you have a dark monster, if they do, this is going to allow me to go into Mud Dragon or be able to go into Starving Venom and Fusion Dragon. Now, if you can afford the new Winged Beast that came out in Power of the Elements, the one that is lets you draw a card, that is completely good, and in my opinion, worth it. I will plan on changing that if I was able to get that, but in this video, I'm just going to be doing the Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. This is a great out being your opponent because you can honestly be able to take the game with this card. And then lastly, we're going to have 1 copy of we're going to have 1 copy of Phantomite's Rank Up. We're going to have 1 copy of your Magic Launch. This is going to be in here specifically for getting into Kali Yuga, Arsenal Falcon, so that way you can basically negate and your opponent gives you the handshake because it is really hard to get over that. And then 1 copy of Call by the Grave because Call by the Grave will allow you to at least banish a card from your opponent's graveyard, which can really screw them up. And then lastly, that is it for the spells. Let's move on to the traps. So we just run 1 copy of Phantom Associated Brigandine because this is going to count as your level 4 monster and is going to help you in the format because this is going to help you go into a rank 4, which will help you go into all of your plays. All right, so that's going to be it for the main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck. So first off, we're going to have 1 copy of, I'm just going to play all these down, 1 copy of Full Armor Master, 1 copy of Blackwing Armor Master because I will never take this guy out. I did decide, unfortunately, have to cut Obsidian Team Hawk Joe, but this is something I'm not going to willing to part with. and we have one copy of Borderless Savage Dragon. Borderless Savage Dragon is going to be your Omni Negate. Blackwing Full Armor Master is going to be able to take control of your opponent's monsters on your turn 2, or be able to destroy all monsters that have wedge counters. That is why you have Oster in the graveyard, because you can activate its effect, banish it, and then you can from there proceed to take control of their monster, or at the end phase destroy all of them on the field. And obviously Blackwing Armor Master is kind of like the same thing, except it just cannot be destroyed by battle, and you can actually make your opponent's monster attack defense 0, or monsters attack 0 to the end phase of the turn if you remove a wedge counter. So then we're going to be moving on to Ultimate Falcon. Ultimate Falcon is very hard to get over with, and basically what you're going to be doing with him is you're going to be using Arsenal of Falcon's effect from the graveyard after it gets blown up using Rusty Bardiche to bring this guy out. And he has 3,500, he has a burn effect, and he's unaffected by everything. So you cannot affect him by any other cards, which makes him very, 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 very hard to get over. And even if they get rid of Kali Yuga, he's going to be staying on the field more than likely because he's 35 and he's unaffected by everything. And speaking of Kali Yuga, I'll even show the Arsenal Falcon. This is going to let you win games because this shuts off everything on that they play for that turn. So if you go into Kali Yuga, every card that they play from their hand, is going to instantly be negated and destroyed. So they can still activate stuff from the graveyards, and they can still activate stuff from their hand and everything, but in terms of the field, this will shut them down completely. And basically from there, it's pretty much GG. They can't really do anything about that. Then you have Arsenal Falcon, which is great because it can search for a level 4 Winged Beast monster from your deck. But also this is what you're going to be using to go into Kali Yuga, because you're going to bring this back using Gaga Magician's effect, and then from there you're going to rank up into Kali Yuga. Then we have Arc Rebellion. A lot of people sleep on this card. I love using this. This is a great turn 2, because after you go into this shuts off all monsters' effects on the field and basically gains attack equal to the total attack. And basically by now, everyone knows that by then, turn 1, they're going to be making some pretty big fields. They're going to be making an amazing field. They're going to have a lot of high levels. So this is a great way to shut them off. And then you can do 10,000, 11 to 12,000 damage. It is funny. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects. So that is one thing that's annoying by them, and they will not be able to really get off the field. I love using this combo because of that, because it's so annoying. And then we have Time Thief Redoer. Time Thief Redoer is a lot of fun because this will take your opponent's card, and depending on what material that you'd attach for it, can activate either banishing it, draw a card, or bounce back a monster on your opponent's side of the field. So, and it's very useful because if they're about to activate an effect, you can just Time Thief, activate its effect, banish it to the end phase of the turn, come back, and then standby phase, you get to take a card from the top of your opponent's stack. And then we have Gaga Magician, which will allow you to bring back Arsenal Falcon. And also, this is a great way to be able to go into that play for Kali Yuga. This is one of the main cards in the deck. And then we have Force Strix, because Force Strix will allow you to add a level 4 monster from your deck to your hand, obviously. So now we're going to be playing Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, and we're going to be playing Mud Dragon. Mud Dragon is going to protect your type monsters, your Winged Beast monsters, and you're going to be using that as a target. Also, you're going to be using Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, which will help destroy special summon monsters on your opponent's side of the field. So this is a very useful card. Like I said, if you ever you have Garuda Renaissance Wings, I think it's called, that is another card that you can use instead of this. But this is going to really help you against other players that use dark monsters, and it's more beneficial to you because you're going to want to be able to have a way out, because Nibiru really isn't a thing that you should worry about in this format right now, because pretty much Splight and Terra Elements are running rampant, and those Nibiru doesn't really do anything against them. And then lastly, we're going to have one copy of White Strikes to go into our combo, and Rusty Bardiche to be able to go into our combo as well. So there you go. That's going to be it for this deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. This is going to be the beginning of my spooky themed deck profiles that I'm going to be showing you. So next week, I'm going to be showing you the Red Eyes branded deck. And like I said in the video, I did scour the internet exclusively to be able to see what are some really good strategies with that deck. And it is a lot of fun. Personally, I don't really like branded all that much, but if you like branded, that is a great substitute, and it's a great way because you can get out Dragoon out on the first turn, and you're not even using Red Eyes Fusion, and you can just set up some amazing field that uses infusion monsters if you are a very big fusion player. So that's going to be it for this deck profile. I hope you guys enjoy that, and with that, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.